You have found the Open Eclectic podcast, where Nate and Josh talk about everything from mobile games to books to pet peeves to cars to toys. Our interests run eclectic and we're open to more. Welcome to the Open Eclectic. Welcome back to the Open Eclectic. This is our 5th episode. With me, of course, Nate.
Yep, that's
I'm
me.
Josh.
Yep, that's Josh.
So you guys are probably all, I've heard rumors, I've seen whispers, mostly from myself, that everybody's expecting a Fifth Element episode to go with our 5th episode. They'd be wrong.
That's a good idea, but we didn't prepare for that.
Save that for later.
5th episode of Star Wars, we could do that.
Sure. But I prepared notes.
Yeah, I know.
Like a professional.
But hey, at least our subject does talk about 5, because it's a top 5 for each of us.
It's true. It's true.
But before we get into that, we were going to talk about something special. On the request of my wife, Wanda, who is a huge, dare I even say obsessed or obsessive fan of this mobile game, Lego Tower by Nimblebit. And she requested that we talk about said game. Josh and I are have both played this game quite a bit. Wanda has played it more than both of us, I will say. She plays it all the time, constantly.
Do you know when she started playing?
I bet we could ask her.
So
we could ask her. I don't know if she remember.
So I've actually been playing for like 2 years, but I took like a year off.
So you told me about it well, I feel like it was 2 years ago, but it was at a game night.
Yeah.
It was before we started doing the GURP stuff. What's her name? Rachel? No. Who's the girl that comes sometimes or used to come? Works at Taco Bell.
Rebecca,
that's it. She was there. JD was there. You were telling us about it, and so we all downloaded the game and added each other.
Oh yeah.
And started, playing, and it's like, oh, we got a free trial with the automatic elevator and stuff. Maybe we should tell the listeners what this game actually is, or what it's about.
Yeah. So
before we get too far into it,
familiar with Tiny Tower? It's the same kind of a thing. You build floors, and they're either a business floor or a residential floor. You fill it with citizens or whatever they're called in your particular flavor of the game.
I don't know.
Yeah, and this in the Lego Tower, it's minifigs. It's the official term.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And what's great about the Lego version is you can swap out their parts, so you can customize your minifigures as much or as little as you please. And then when you get to 50 floors, you can rebuild. Prestige, if you will. And then you were rewarded with a golden brick, which you can apply to either a business or a residence. And that basically gives you instant restocking on a business, or gives you like maximum rent if you equip it to a residence. And you can send stuff to each other.
Yeah, you can have friends send like pieces, and you can send pieces, and you can send movers, and you can send construction workers. So this is like, if you've played other like tower simulation games, like Project High Rise is one, which is on iPad and PC. Actually, it's on Android as well. Like Android, you can get it on your phone. Can't get it on your iPhone though. Only your iPad.
Lame.
Yeah, that's lame. I was disappointed. I'm trying to think of other. That's my dog. If you can hear that, she's outside. I
know there's a bunch of like tower building games. It's pretty. I'd say the social aspect is pretty low. You can send stuff to each other. You can also request certain minifigures too, because you get a bonus if you put a minifigure into a job that is their dream job.
So yeah, it's a really fun game. Like Josh mentioned, there's a Tiny Tower game, which is I think that's like the OG Nimblebit.
It's been around for a while.
Game. It's been around for a long time. That's actually kind of what introduced me to Nimblebit's various mobile games. So Tiny Tower is kind of like Lego Tower is is themed obviously with Lego. Tiny Tower is just kind of a generic. They made their own little. They call them bitizens. Their own little figures and stuff. And yeah, I mean it's the same idea. You have residential floors filled with people, and you have business floors. You can have stores or restaurants or little hobby places, recreation things, and it's the same idea. You can add friends, you can send figures off to them and everything.
So basically, you get like a daily rent, and then each time you give a bitizen or a minifigure a job, then they start producing revenue, which then you can then spend on more floors. And I would say the in-game currency is gold to build floors, but then there's
Cash,
or I think it's called bucks, isn't it?
Yeah, they call it bucks.
BUX, bucks. Which is what you use to maybe upgrade your floor. So I've done that with all of mine currently. They're at 15x capacity. And it gives you like a little breakdown of how much gold per minute they're currently producing, and you have to restock them and stuff. I'll admit, it's kind of a little bit of a mindless kind of game. It's fun. I play it a lot for being a game that's kind of, there's no plot to it.
Yeah,
like there is zero plot, and that's fine. They don't really try to make it story driven, which is fine. You can customize a bunch of stuff, but it's pretty relaxing, I'd say. Although like everything, I've developed my own strategy and aggressively follow it.
Well, and it's like there isn't a story. What else is great about these games though is that about Nimblebit specifically is it, like you said, it's just kind of a chill idle. You can almost say an idle game. Like you might even say it's close to an idle clicker, but I feel like that would like sully the name of Lego Tower, because it's not one of those stupid just like tap as fast as you can games. Right. There's actually a little bit more thought and strategy that goes into it. Also, I don't know that Lego Tower, I don't even know if they have ads. Like, is there even an option to watch an ad at all?
There's no ads. Yeah.
So there's zero ads, which is great. The other Nimblebit games, which I think we'll mention at least one or two of these later. Spoilers. But the other games like Pocket Planes or Tiny Tower or Tiny Tower Vegas, they like you only watch ads if you choose to. Like It's not, you're not like playing for like 10 minutes and then suddenly you're like, I'm gonna push this, but oh, there's an ad. No, it's only like you earn extra bucks. Like if they have, it's mostly bucks. Tiny Tower does other things like you can earn coins or you can get like an extra VIP type thing.
Oh, cool.
If you watch ads, but it's like it's your choice, so it's like opt in. Otherwise, there's no ads.
That's probably what's kept me in the game. I didn't think about that until you mentioned it. I didn't even notice that there weren't any ads.
No ads.
But it's like refreshing. I just, to jump on, play. I'm playing a little bit right now. The other thing that it has is there's special minifigures that you can upgrade to. Special characters, if you will. And you have to collect the pieces for them, which are just generated to you randomly. Or there is a buy option where you can buy pieces periodically. But it's not promoted really hard. It's just, you have to actually look for it a little bit. So, for example, I have somebody called the Skater. He's got skater hair, I guess. Dark, lanky hair.
Boy. Said, see you later, boy.
Exactly. And so if I upgrade one of my minifigures to the Skater, he will then give me higher rent. And then you could upgrade the special characters from there. And when you do that, they also then start generating like a seek and find option for your tower. So right now I have a sarcophagus that the explorer needs me to find for him, and it's just on one of the floors. It's not like super hidden necessarily, but when you get to the point, like I'm currently at 34 floors, so there's like a bunch of stuff to look through. So it's a little bit like there's like a hunt and find or a Where's Waldo type of aspect to it.
Yeah, it gets those like missions that you're talking about. Like they get progressively harder
Some
the
of
more
them-
floors that you have.
Yes, they
because
do.
you have to like slowly scroll through, each floor, and like, because these figures are not just like you see them on each floor, and they're not static. I mean, they walk around. Sometimes they like do little dances and like, or they
Yep.
throw tantrums or something.
We found it.
So, they might be obscuring whatever it is that you're looking for.
Yeah, and some of the things to find are really easy. Like the sarcophagus is actually bigger, taller than a minifigure, so it sticks out over their heads. You just have to kind of watch for it.
Which one is the sarcophagus?
But there's other stuff that the red bucket is my second least favorite that you have to find.
green plants, the 3 plants.
I like the plants actually. The one that's the hardest for me is the ice cream cone
Oh, I hate the ice cream
because it's
cone.
clear with like a little tiny pink thing on top, and it's just
That one's
such a
hard to
pain.
find.
But you're rewarded when you find stuff with
Bucks.
Yeah, which then you can then use to speed up some of the production and stuff. It's kind
So-
of like Tamagotchi meets like Dino Tycoon.
I don't know what Dino Tycoon is. Is that...
Oh, did you never play the Tycoon games? They're old PC games where you create like a theme park basically.
Oh, I have played other
Yeah. that's it.
Tycoon games. God,
So anyway, that's kind of how I think of it, is like a Tamagotchi thing, because you got to babysit it a little bit. I'll admit, it's a babysitting game.
right.
But then it's, it's fun because you build it, and then each time you go through, I kind of plateaued a little bit for how fast I can rebuild my tower. I would say that levels 4 through gold bricks 4 through 7 really saw like a huge jump in the time. A decrease, in the time that it takes.
Yeah, but it's like you babysit it a little bit, but you don't have to you don't have to constantly be looking at it. I mean, you can enable notifications so that it'll be like, bing, this floor is ready.
Yeah.
Which, I actually have those off because I kind of find them a little irritating. Or, I get notification overload, whatever.
Absolutely.
So I have them off, but it's like, so if you don't have them on, you just check in every once in a while, and then you can, take care of your stuff.
So yeah, tiny Lego tower. It's a lot of fun. It's a little babysitting kind of thing, but you can just check in periodically and play casually. It's a nice kind of play in between gaps in your time if you got it.
Absolutely.
Sometimes, especially in this time of still doing a lot of Zoom meetings and stuff, it's easy to just keep my phone out of sight, and I'll be, it's easy to play Lego Tower while I'm doing other things.
So, the thing that you do the most in like Lego Tower after you've kind of taken care of like maintenance stuff, like restocking floors, is delivering people to floors.
Yes,
you have
sir.
an elevator.
We're on the elevator.
So, and your friends, if you've added friends, they can visit you and they tip you $10, but after you deliver them to a floor. Otherwise, it's just random figures that show up. Now, one of the things you can spend your money on is like a premium. I guess what do you call it? What is it? Lego Club or Tower Club or something?
Yeah, Tower Club.
Where if you pay, you can either pay you can pay daily, I think.
Yeah, there's like an amount where you can pay like $2 to have the automatic elevator, and your elevator, by the way, starts out really, really slow. So like that's the first thing you want to put your bucks into is that elevator, because that real slow elevator is just a nightmare. When you get up over like 5 floors, you're like, oh, this is terrible.
It's just killer because it takes forever.
So there's definitely things in the game where they like certainly encourage you to spend a little money. But it's not like you wouldn't have to do that. You can earn bucks by just, running the game.
So I spent, and this is going to sound bad for a mobile game, I know. I spent the $20 to get like the lifetime Lego Club thing, which gives the auto elevator. It doubles the daily rent for each person,
That's
each
very helpful.
figure, and it also, what is it? There's something else. More bucks, I think, maybe, or bigger rewards.
No, you don't.
You get discounts on upgrades.
You get discounts on upgrades, and you don't pay to like visit people, because it's like when you tip them $10 when you visit somebody, you literally give them 10 of your bucks. But if you are on the Tower Club, when you visit somebody, it doesn't cost you anything, but you still tip them out of the
Like the Lego
Lego
fund,
fund, I guess.
the slush fund.
Yeah.
I didn't know that it took took your. So if you had no bucks, you can't visit people then?
Yeah, I think so. It's been a while. So I was I don't know how this happened. I was gifted with the Tower Club. I don't know if it's because I am a Lego VIP rewards member. So when I buy stuff from like Lego.com or when I go into a Lego store, I sometimes get perks and free stuff.
Do they greet you at the door of the Lego store?
Not quite. Like they're not like, oh, welcome,
Josh, welcome.
VIP, right this way, sir. Oh, here's the
Hot
unsullied
towel?
bricks, right? Yeah, it's made of Lego.
It melted.
Yeah, no, not quite like that. Almost though.
So I'm one of those weird people that dropped $20 on it. Now my wife, on the other hand, she refuses. I mean, well, she doesn't spend money on apps anyway, but like that thought would never enter her mind to do that, to get that Lego club thing.
Yeah.
And she like she hasn't spent any money on that. Like her elevator is still kind of slow.
It's not too bad.
It's okay.
Yeah.
But one thing I was going to ask you, Josh. So she upgrades each floor to the max. She goes 25x.
Really?
Every single floor. And I'm like, even with the Tower Club, and so not only did I spend $20 on that, I've also bought 2 like piece packs, like pieces.
Yeah, or you get random pieces, or sometimes it's not random, and there's the ones where it's like
a
you
collection.
can see the pieces,
yeah, you can see like what you're gonna get,
and you get bucks.
Yes,
that.
so you get a crap ton of bucks, and like I'm talking like 10,000 or something like that.
Yeah, it's a good chunk.
And the pieces. So I've got a lot of bucks, but even having like 30,000 bucks, like when you're upgrading those floors, if you go to the max, which is what I do, I go to 25 times, times 25.
I only go to 15 typically.
But I see the bucks go down.
Yeah, because it's expensive.
That's with a discount.
And that's like my kind of compromise. But if you upgrade it all the way, you restock less often.
Mm-hmm.
So it depends on what you want to do. And
so it allows you, so you don't have to check it as often.
Yeah.
So you could stock it all
like
up
overnight, that's fantastic.
Yep.
If you're checking it a lot during the day, I work on the phone a lot, so as my phone's ringing or whatever, I'm like, ooh, Lego Tower, boop.
Yep.
So for me, it's not too big a deal. Like I really rely heavily on like I mentioned, my strategy.
Mm-hmm.
I use my gold bricks primarily on residential floors, and then the first
to get those
930
rent.
The first 6 floors, I automatically give a gold brick to, and then everybody, I try to get pairs of people who have the same dream jobs in those floors, and then I upgrade those characters to the character ones, because now like my top earners, I guess, my top residents, yeah, that's how that would work, right?
Sure. Yep, residents. That sounds good.
Yeah, my top resident is, let's see, is tied. I've got a couple who are maxed out. So like the Explorer, for example, is his daily rent is 2,000 times 9.
Wow.
So like that's a significant amount. So every day
times 9.
Times 9.
How do you get it to be 9? How do you get that in multiplier?
So you get them
3.
So he's in his dream job.
Okay.
So that gives you a multiplier of 3, I believe.
Yes.
And then that gets multiplied by 3, making 9, because he's in a working on a floor that has a golden brick.
Whoa.
So yeah, it's pretty significant.
Do I have any of those?
So like even at the sacrifice of building production floors or business floors, I build the residences because of the amount of daily rent I get, even from an unemployed minifig.
Wow.
And then after that, and I work towards pairs because that's how I prioritize what business floors I build right away.
Whew.
So
9. I don't have anybody that's times 9, but I've got golden floors with people in their dream jobs.
So my Explorer is a level 10.
Wonder if it
So
jumps up at a certain level, because I don't think I have anybody that is that high.
so periodically you get extra pieces for like characters that you've unlocked, and then you can, if you get enough extra pieces, you can upgrade them.
Yeah, and
So
I do that as often as I can, but like I think the biggest I have is like 1,500 gold or coins times 3.
oh, so also I think my explorer. Okay, so that's the other thing too. I try to have them double down. So my bike shop is a golden floor, which is what my explorer works in. So that's where that other bonus comes from. I think that's where the times 9 comes in.
Wow.
Yeah. So he's living in a golden floor, working in a golden floor.
Oh, he lives in a golden floor.
Yeah.
And he works. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I really optimized that.
Just kind of compounding that awesomeness.
Yeah.
Yeah. So Lego Tower is a really fun game. There's a lot of people that play it. Like if you really want to add people, like if you want to add friends, like if you go on the Lego Tower subreddit, they'll have friend code,
Piece exchange.
So you identify people by their friend code, so you can share that with people and add people based on that. Yeah, there's piece exchanges. There's like they talk about strategy and all kinds of stuff.
Yeah. So I have my strategy that I've kind of worked out that I'm rolling with right now and seeing how it goes. So we'll see. If anybody wants to add me, my friend code is W2GQ.
Whoa.
That's right. That's right. W2GQ.
So I better throw mine out there.
That's for Josh from the Open Eclectic. Add me. I'll visit you. Tip you some bucks.
My code, Nate, Open Eclectic, 1BHBW. That's B as in toy.
Nice.
Boy. B as in boy.
So your code is 5 digits long?
Yes.
I wonder if that's reflective of how early you started playing the game, because mine is only 4.
Ooh, that could be.
But some of my other friends, and then you can, after you add somebody, if you know who they are, you can rename them.
Yeah.
So like I have you in here as Nate instead of your code.
Yeah, instead of 1BH.
Yeah. I can't even. Whatever. Oh, I can see your code. Interesting.
So yeah, I've added quite a few people. I've added Wanda, Josh.
Our kids play.
My
kids are really terrible about actually doing anything with their tower, which is fine. They prefer to, my son's into. He just beat Breath of the Wild actually this week.
Oh wow, he did?
Yeah.
Wow,
he was.
It's impressive.
Yeah, and now he's going through again, and he's got this whole strategy worked out. And,
wait till he finds out about all the other Zelda games there are.
Well, yeah, he's already like, when is Breath of the Wild 2 coming out?
What about there's a new one that came out for the Switch last year,
right?
I think. God, what the hell is that?
It's a Zelda game. It's not Breath of the Wild.
Yeah, it's not Breath of the Wild. It's a totally different art style.
Yeah, it's like. But anyway,
I can't remember what it's called.
Cell shaded or chibi is, I don't know.
Yeah, it's more like cartoony, I guess would be the word.
Yeah,
I don't know. I mean it. I don't know.
Yeah.
Anyway. So Wanda would want us to tell everyone she's on. I don't remember. I'm gonna get this wrong. She plays it in this insane pace. Like she rebuilds as soon as she hits 50 floors.
Same.
And she's on. I mean, yeah. Josh does. I do too. But
there's really no reason not to.
Right.
Honestly.
But she plays it so fast. Like she's seriously on 17 or 18 towers right now. Which means that she has 18 or whatever gold bricks. Oh, we can check.
If you can, you can actually look, and I think it'll tell.
It tells you how many. Let's see. She's got.
No, so she has 20 gold bricks.
Yeah. So.
And I thought I was cooking along with my 12.
So that means that she's on her 21st floor.
Yes. So
because it'd always be one behind.
Yeah.
So. And Lego, unlike Tiny Tower, where Tiny Tower they actually have a raffle function where you can actually win. It's a ticket. They call it It's a gold ticket instead of a gold brick. Mm-hmm. But they run that every hour. Now Lego Tower doesn't have any promotion type stuff like that. So the only way that you get the gold bricks is if you rebuild.
Yeah.
Although Does the tower, if you buy the tower club, does it give you?
No.
It does not give you a gold brick. Okay.
Nope. The only way to get gold bricks is to rebuild.
Is to rebuild. So that means that she plays it all the time.
There are like codes that you can enter and like redeem, and mostly it's for pieces and stuff.
You think they'd have gold? They have gold bricks in there?
I don't know. I've looked for like Lego codes and stuff. There's not a ton of them, but you know, who knows? They probably just.
Have you gotten any of them to work? Like, have you found?
Yeah, if you enter pizza, I believe
Pizza?
I believe it's pizza. Then you'll get a minifig torso that has a pizza on it.
Let's check it out. Pizza.
I think that's the one.
An item has been added to my mail.
Boom.
Ha! Check it out. It's the pizza.
There it is. Hey, you didn't
Right
even own one
on.
before. Sweet.
Yes, that's even. Yeah.
That's what I'm going for, is to collect all the pieces. So, and to have all of my characters maxed out. Like I'm at the point now where I did buy some of like the packs or whatever to complete some of the minifigs. But now that I have them all, I'm just like, all right, that's it. I'm just gonna kind of get the random draw when you run your elevator. Sometimes you get pieces from.
Yeah, just like people come visit, then suddenly it'll be
Yeah.
like, oh, you got a piece. Nice. Speaking of pieces, okay, and I know we've been talking about this a long time. This looks like a beekeeper. I've been needing the head for the beekeeper forever.
Let me see if I have an extra one.
But I'm like, usually, because I've added a lot of people from Reddit, like just random people I don't know, but
really?
like people that, you know, they're pretty good about visiting you if you visit them.
Yeah.
And sending pieces and stuff. But I've been asking for this for like 2 months.
So that's one that I don't have any extras of.
Like,
Yeah. Ask me for something else. I don't know how I don't remember.
that's the only character that I haven't gotten at all.
So
like,
I
that's the
think
only one.
The Beekeeper is one of the more recent characters they added. And that's why it's maybe a little more scarce. Maybe. Because I remember when there was only 30 or so characters, and now there's 42.
Jeez. I hope they add more.
Me too.
Another one that you can't. Well, Beekeeper, I'm sure you can request it, but there's a figure that you can't request the pieces. Is the
Mr. Gold.
Mr. Gold, and you only get him by rebuilding, right?
Yeah. So when you rebuild, you get a gold brick and you get a random gold piece, and he looks like he's just gold.
He looks like
except for
Mr.
his
Peanut
hands.
or whatever, right?
Yeah. He's got a monocle.
Peanuts and cashews and
Yeah.
walnuts.
And so all minifigures take at least 3 pieces: legs, torso, head, and then some of them have a headpiece. And Mr. Gold, of course, has all 4. So, and yeah, you can't send those to people or request them. Oh wait, you can request it.
What?
Yeah, so I just tapped on the head and it says, "Would you like to request this piece from your friends?"
Well, what if you actually do it though?
Should I request it?
I mean, you can just request the other whatever piece you actually need after that.
Yeah, I'm not gonna. I don't know if I wanna.
Why
I'm gonna
not?
do it. I'm gonna do it.
Just do it.
Nope. Okay. So then when I hit
I
request,
knew it.
it says
Mhm,
this piece cannot be requested.
Yep.
Interesting. But yeah, if you're looking for a specific piece, even if you don't know what it is, you can tap on it and request it from your friends. And I've sent people some stuff, and people send me stuff, and it's kind of you're like, oh nice, look at that. Wanda sends me a bunch of stuff.
Yeah, like
She's a much better friend to me than I am to her.
she's a crazy, not crazy, but she's very dedicated to Lego Tower. Now, she's very focused. So if she doesn't play games a lot. So when she actually is playing a game on her phone, it's going to be the only game that she's playing. So any free moment that she has, she is putting into her Lego Tower. And I know Josh at one point was like, I'm gonna try to surpass Wanda's floors.
I think
No,
I had a chance,
it's
and then
not
she
gonna
heard
happen.
about it, and then she was like, "Oh heck no!"
And she doubled down, and she's just like, nope,
Yeah,
not gonna happen.
maybe you know what? Maybe starting with the next tower, my next rebuild, I'm gonna max all of my floors out and see if I can really just increase my capacity here. I'm 8 floors behind her in rebuilding, or eight bricks behind her. I don't know if I can close the gap.
What do you could maybe
I don't know
pull
if I have
some
the
pull some all
fortitude.
nighters or something,
I guess
I
would have to.
And now I've been and Wanda she chided me for this. I haven't been very paying attention to my tower as much as I should.
You haven't. I've sent you a bunch of stuff.
Yeah. The problem is that now we'll get into this here in a moment. I've been playing something else.
Traitor.
I like to mix up my games a lot.
Sure.
Play different
Absolutely.
games. So I was going through, a phase. Not a phase, but like it's not a phase. I'm not
He'll
like
grow out of it. He'll come back to
Yeah, no,
Lego
it's not like
Tower. It's
that,
just
no.
a phase.
I went through a time where I was I was playing a lot of Lego Tower, but I've kind of backed off lately. So
I go through periods where it's like I'll check in to collect the daily rent because it's not like if you don't check in every day to collect your daily rent, then you don't get it.
yeah, it doesn't stack. It's
Doesn't
just
stack.
like you get one day and that's it.
So there's weeks, maybe like even a stretch of a month or more, where I was just like, yeah, I checked in maybe every day to collect my rent, and I kind of just didn't worry about it.
Mm-hmm.
And then I go back to playing it more or whatever. And I did just kind of forget about it for a while, and I played another game for quite a while, and I got really into that, and then I just needed a break from that, and so I switched back to Lego Tower because it's there for me.
It's always there.
It's always there.
It's nice and soothing.
It really is. It's so
not-
low key.
Yeah, it's not. I mean, it's not like
relaxing.
jangly action. It's not like quick reflexes. It's nice and steady and
Never makes my phone crash.
no. Although I've had the app freeze on me,
Oh,
and then
really?
it does that weird like text thing. Like if you see the text gets all jacked up. Like,
Huh. Nope.
No,
Nope.
must be an Apple thing.
I guess. So what else? So when you're not playing Lego Tower, Nate, tell us.
Okay, so
Who have you been two-timing us with?
all right, I will. I'll come clean. Josh and I had our idea for this episode. Other than Lego Tower, thank you, Wanda, for that.
Loyal listener.
Loyal listener. If she's actually listening, I don't know if she is. Well, to be fair, at this point we haven't actually released any episodes yet, so
Yeah, I wasn't going to mention that at all.
you can cut that out, right?
Yeah, I'm going to cut that out.
So our idea for tonight was to talk about our top 5 mobile games inspired by talking about Lego Tower.
Yeah.
So, I'll start with mine, and I think this is pretty much I think I tried to put it in order of like how much I like it, like each of these games, or I was actually thinking more like how much time I've spent on them,
Okay.
but also how much I like them. So, the one that I've been playing a lot lately, and I've also played a lot beforehand because it's been out for a couple of years, is called Motorsport Manager Mobile 3. Love it so much. It's a racing management sim kind of thing,
Okay.
kind of game.
So you don't actually do the racing. You manage the racers.
You don't, yeah. So you're not actually like turning the car, like turn the wheel, gas, brake, whatever, which is nice because I don't really. There's a lot of those games out there on mobile. I really don't like actually racing a car on mobile.
Most of the time, I agree with you.
This one is it's called Motorsport Manager, so
Right.
you're the manager.
Okay.
So you're like the lead of a racing team, and so it starts out. I mean, it's all like fictional, like there's no real people in this particular one, but so you start out in the open wheel racing, which is kind of like IndyCar, Formula One, that kind of
Okay.
stuff. Those like pointy nosed like rocket looking
yeah.
cars with the fins on the sides and
Like drag racing, kind of? Not quite.
not
Smaller.
not quite like these are the ones that actually turn, like
Oh,
they make
okay,
turns
yeah.
and stuff.
No parachute.
Very fast, they're very loud, very buzzy.
Oh, yeah, okay.
Anyway, so you start out open wheel, which is like there's no fenders over the wheels. The wheels are just sticking out. And you have 2 drivers that you manage that have varying skills, and you have 3 engineers on your staff, and you have 2 mechanics. So during the actual races, the drivers, what you can do is you can tell them, you can turn up the engine mode, which is basically like how aggressively, like how powerful the engine is. Like,
Okay.
And so if you turn it up to aggressive, like to the top level, there's 3 levels. There's like top, medium, and then low or conserve. If you turn it up to the top, you get more power, more speed, but you use more fuel.
Right.
So you have to kind of manage. You see how quickly you're burning gas, and it tells you how many laps of fuel you have left. So you can manage the tires. You manage the tires. You can manage the fuel or the engine mode, and you decide when they pit. For fuel, tires, fix problems with the car.
Yeah.
Anyway, whatever. I don't want to talk too much about this because I have 4 more and Josh has 5. But it's a fun game. It's really kind of addicting to, you go through seasons. It's really deep. I feel like it's really deep.
Yeah.
It's got a lot going for it. You develop parts for the car to improve the car. You can, drivers have contracts. They have different traits. If they have a good interview, it'll give them a +1 to all these different categories. And there's 10 different driver stats that you can upgrade,
right.
with points and stuff.
Is there a multiplayer function where you could trade racers or whatever?
So
bidding wars.
There's not a function like that, but they do have a multiplayer game that's free. Now this multiplayer, the one I'm talking about, Motorsport Manager Mobile 3, was I think it was $8 or something when I bought it. But they have Motorsport Manager, which is free, and that's like an online multiplayer game. I don't think you can have friends in it, but you participate in races against other people, doing the same type of thing, like managing your tires and your fuel and deciding when to pit and that kind of stuff. But it's a little bit more they've kind of embraced the pay to win a little bit kind of thing. So it's you can grind it, doing it for free, or you can pay to kind of be better quicker.
Yeah.
Which is fine, because it's a free game, and they have this really awesome one that you pay for that has no ads and everything.
That is nice.
So
I don't mind the a little upcharge for getting rid of the ads.
Yeah. If it's a really cool game, I have no qualms about buying that one. So that's what I've been spending most of my time on. Sorry, Wanda. Sorry, Josh. Motorsport Manager Mobile 3. You want to go back and forth, maybe? Should we do that? So that was my number 1, was Motorsport Manager Mobile 3. Check it out. Play Sport Games is the developer.
Nice.
Josh, your number 1.
So I didn't rank mine.
Okay.
And some of mine on my list are no longer available.
You sent me that picture, and one of those I was like, man, that's an old one.
So I'm gonna go with one of the older ones right now, Pyratron. So, which is no longer available, unfortunately. It's based off of the game Quirkle, which you play in person. And what it is a tile matching game. There's square tiles, and you play melds of 3 or so at a time. And either you match the shape or you match the color. Mm-hmm. And when you got 6 in a row, it was called a Pyratron in this particular game, which gave you a bonus, and it gave you extra points. And so it was always really satisfying if you could manage to place one tile, and in Scrabble, you build 2 words. It's the same kind of a thing, just with shapes and colors. It's almost like Scrabble for idiots. And
it's just shapes and colors.
Shapes and colors.
No letters.
The more I talk about it, the dumber it sounds. But so when you could play it, and then you could get double Pyratron and different things like that.
Did we play that back in the day?
I think so.
I want to say you and I played that because I vaguely remember it.
Yeah, I had some friends, and we played it we played the heck out of it, honestly, because you could have up to 4 people playing in one game at a time, which was really fun. Yeah, I just loved it. It was built really to be a good multiplayer game, and it was it's a fairly simple game. You make matches, kind of.
You match colors and shapes.
You match colors and you lay them out like it's Scrabble.
Universal.
Yeah. And of course it's gone. It's been off the market for a couple of years now. But it was great.
Is there any have you looked for any equivalent games for that?
I have, and I think there might be an actual Quirkle app, but they're not as good. They don't run as smoothly.
Even
they don't
like
give
the
you the same.
official Quirkle?
Not as good. I can't remember who.
I don't think I've ever actually played Quirkle.
Really? I'll have to bust that out for one of our game nights. It's you know, just like it sounds. You match tiles. It's
It's like Connect 4. I mean, I still love playing Connect 4.
yeah, it's low level. It's very low level strategy. You got to try and be careful to not set other people up for Quirkles is kind of the goal, or like a sub goal, I guess. But yeah, it was a lot of fun. The multiplayer was great. It was one where if you didn't have to be in the same room with your friends to play it, but if you decided to do that, it was probably just as fun to do that as it is to play like an actual tabletop game. So sometimes we'd play a game, like we'd be playing Canasta or something, and then those of us who were playing Pyrotron would also be playing Pyrotron.
Very nice. Very nice.
And it was pirate themed. So, when you'd Quirkle, yeah, there would be like a little head that popped over, or like a parrot that was like, "Arr, yeah, caught a Pyrotron."
Oh, man. See, this is why this is so great, because just you and me discussing these things, because I feel like you always bring a really unique perspective on stuff. Like the stuff on your list is like, I wasn't like, I don't know what I was expecting necessarily, but like those, like I was surprised by most of those.
Yeah.
There was one of them that I was like, oh yeah, I played that one too. Yeah, that was pretty cool. So it's like, I almost feel like my list is kind of like the not as interesting, like lame-o version, and yours is the more like cool intellectual version.
I don't know if I don't know if I go so
Colors
far
and
to say
shapes.
intellectual. Yeah. It's you remember like an Idiocracy where he has to do the IQ tests when he's in the prison, and it's just like the shapes that goes into that plastic ball and nobody can figure it out. That's kind of like what Pyrotron was.
No, but there's strategy to it, though.
There is. It's
because you don't want to set people up, right?
It's true.
It's one of those easy to learn, difficult to master, which is what makes a great game.
I would say it's medium to master, honestly.
Okay, medium.
Yeah,
We'll go there. Okay.
Love it. If any of our listeners can find a way to bring that back,
Quirkle / Pyrotron.
I would pay for it. That's what I'd pay for.
I would pay $1 for that.
I would pay, honestly, if they brought it back so that it could function on my phone exactly like, with no changes, just exactly like it was before, I'd probably pay $20 for it.
We need to find out who developed it, which shouldn't be that difficult. And then you need to send them a letter.
Yeah.
A strongly worded email or a tweet or something.
I think I did, honestly.
Did you?
And they were like, yeah, it just, it waned in popularity and people quit playing it. And so it just wasn't worth our time to try and do anything with. And basically they were like, we didn't want to do any upgrades to it because it would have made the game worse.
What?
And I was like, yeah,
why didn't they just keep it the same? Are they talking like upgrading it so that it works with, it's compatible with new OSs, or?
Well, most games, I would say most games on my list, okay, with two exceptions, the games on my list, there's upgrades periodically to give the game a fresh coat of paint or whatever. Lego Tower is actually a lot easier now than it was when I first started playing. It was a lot harder to get pieces and to earn bucks, especially. Like, it was really, really hard, and they never really shoved it on you, but they definitely made it clear they wanted you to spend money on the bucks. And then with some of the updates, it got a lot easier, which definitely hooked a lot of people into like stay.
So probably I think a calculated decision on their part.
Probably. Or they wanted it to be like that to begin with, and it ended up being harder than they thought. I don't know. I'll give them the benefit of the doubt.
Yeah, but Lego has added a lot. They, going back to Lego Tower, they've added a lot of stuff, like a lot of content.
Yeah.
So another thing that we didn't mention was that the floors are they're themed. I mean, they are in Tiny Tower as well, but like
Yes.
some of the Lego floors are inspired by actual sets,
Yes.
and not all of them, I guess, but they all have a very specific theme, specific names.
Yeah, garage, ice
to
cream
them.
shop, fashion shop, and then even the residences are skate apps and Southwest apps, studio, surfer, throne room. It's pretty just all part of that like customization stuff too. Of you can theme your lobby, and also the top of your tower and the elevator. Actually, you can theme all of those. Mine is currently castle themed.
Yeah, so like the top has just got a little like, I don't know, you can, yeah, it's got a theme. Like you can put like a little, depending what the theme is, a different like structure like on top, like a vehicle or a building or something.
There was a code for a new structure on the top. I can't remember what it was though. I'll have to find it. I'll send that to you.
To Google it.
Yeah.
Oh, dude, so I'm looking at a screenshot of the Pyrotron game. I remember this now.
Yeah, that's it, man. That's it.
I'm like, yeah,
It was so great.
shapes and colors.
Yeah.
Yeah. Um, pour one out for Pyrotron
Yeah, I do.
for the homies.
I'll maybe not on your carpet right now.
No,
but
I don't
later.
do that. Don't do that. Outside,
Yeah.
on the in the grass, or on the concrete, whatever.
Yeah.
Are you ready for me to do my next one?
Yeah, man. What's next on your list? Take us to something happier.
Well, I don't know if this is happier per se.
I'll never forget you.
So I know you said you didn't necessarily rank your list. So when I did, I tried to do it kind of by like how much I liked it and like how much time I've poured into it or wasted or however you want to look at it. I don't see it as time wasted. Anyway, number 2 for me is Fallout Shelter
Okay.
by Bethesda, which I've been a big fan of the Fallout video games. Not so much the board game, which we talked about. But the video games are great. Specifically, I started playing Fallout 3. Anyway, we're not talking about the video games on console or PC. We're talking about mobile games. So Fallout Shelter is... I don't know if I want to say this is like... There's been a lot of clones of it. But it's one of those where like... it's kind of like a tower management-ish, but because you build floors to it, but it's kind of more like a resource management type of game. So like Fallout, if you're not familiar with what that is, now this is why I say it's not necessarily happier, because it talks about Armageddon, the end of nuclear annihilation, nuclear war in the near future in the Fallout universe. So anyway, so you're living in what's called a vault, or like a fallout shelter, and you build various floors. Like you have to build floors for a floor for water, to make water. You have to build a food floor. You have to build power, like electricity. Then you also build well, I guess they're not floors; they're rooms. Sorry, you can have different rooms on the same floor. You build rooms for like health things, or what they call stim packs, to like heal people. Radiation obviously is a big concern in Fallout,
Obviously.
because of all the bombs. So
Fallout refers to both the radiation, like the fallout of nuclear holocaust, but also like your Fallout shelter.
yes,
Cool.
Fallout, yeah, radioactive Fallout. So you craft the stim packs for health, and also your characters can get irradiated, which reduces their maximum health. And so you craft this product called Radaway, which magically gets rid of radiation. Anyway, so you have these rooms, and so you have people, vault dwellers they call them, that will show up at your vault. And so you, similar to Lego Tower, you put them in a job, and they have skills. They're stronger in some areas and weaker in others, or if they're really awesome, they're strong in all of them. So if they're really good, at the food skill, you put them in the food floor, and so you produce food faster, and because it has a little meter for each of those resources, and they go down, so you have to check in and collect. So it's kind of like it's management in that way, where you're having to check into it and collect these resources, because they don't automatically collect for you.
Yeah.
And this is another one where they kind of added quite a bit of content. This one is also another reason why I like it, is it's not in your face with advertisements. There aren't any like forced advertisements on it.
Nice.
You only get like video ads if you decide to watch them, and you can do, and it's really like, it's not a big deal, and I feel like it's not a big deal at all, because the reward that you get for watching the ad is pretty great. So,
Nice.
like you can watch an ad to like speed up, certain tasks, or you can potentially get rewarded with like their premium currency that's in the game.
Oh, cool.
I will say that they are kind of aggressive with pushing like the premium purchases that you can do. Like I haven't turned the notifications off for this one. So every couple days it'll be like, oh, we're having a sale. We're having the Memorial Day sale, or we're having a Valentine's Day sale, or we're having, I don't know if they actually had a Memorial Day sale. I feel like that would be kind of insensitive, maybe.
Both just sound weird though, like in a game where it's like the fallout of a nuclear holocaust or whatever, and they're like Valentine's Day sale.
Well, no, so this is also cool though. Like they theme like for every like holiday, they'll theme the game or the app, not the game, but like the app icon. Like if it's like St. Patrick's Day, it'll look like St. Patrick's Day.
Wow.
Like a little leprechaun looking guy with the hat. Or Valentine's Day, or 4th of July. 4th of July is a big one. Patriotism is a big deal or it was in pre-war Fallout universe before everything went to hell. So they play that up a lot. What's cool though, I don't want to. When I say what's cool though, it makes it think like, I don't want people to think like this is what I like focus on, but it's just a fun little thing.
Yeah.
Is that you can. So not only do people show up at the vault to like get in, and you can add them to your community, you can also create people. Yes, there is
kind of like The Sims.
Yeah, there's a barracks, like the little where people sleep.
Right.
So if you put a man vault dweller and a female, a lady vault dweller in the same room, in the barracks, they'll start like start dancing, and then they
make little vault dwellers.
Then they make little vault dwellers, yeah. So it's and they have little just like kind of just funny little like lines that they'll say, like I don't know, just corny like pickup lines, like did it hurt when you fell from heaven? It's like that. They don't say that, but it's like it's on that same level.
It hurt when it fell from the surface into the vault.
You fall into the vault. Oh.
That's great.
But it's more clever than that. So then they run off into the back room, and you see little like happy faces like bubbling out, like. I mean, it's not graphic or anything.
That's good. That'd be a different game.
It's the implication. So then. So after a couple seconds, then like they both come out of the room, but the female is all like she's pregnant, like very pregnant, and she's walking like slow. I'm sorry.
In 30 seconds, you too can be ready to give birth.
Yeah, exactly. What? I think it takes a couple hours for like the
video game time. Baby.
Yeah. So then so you can name the kid. So like these people they all have a first and last name. But you can rename. I don't think you can rename the characters, like ones that are adults already. But when the kid is born, you have the option to rename it if you want. Rename the child if you want to. Anyway, spent a lot of time on this. Fallout Shelter, free. Check it out. It's on both Android and iPhone. Also, you can get it on PC.
Ooh.
Through Steam, or I don't know if it's through the Windows Store or not. Anyway, Josh, your turn.
All right. Talk about Bike Race for a minute, I guess.
Never heard of this one.
Okay, so this is one that I also started playing because some friends recommended it to me, and it was like a fun multiplayer thing because you could like race against them. Now, I'd already mentioned we don't like. I don't really care for racing on my phone, but this is like a side scroller racing game.
Yeah, that's
So you
fine.
hit go and then like you tilt the phone to balance. And it starts out like really simple, and then if you're playing the single player, the racetracks get super complex, where like you have to basically come up over, like you're gonna go for a ramp, but you need the back tire to catch, so it launches you forward and straight down, and it's got all kinds of stuff, and it's a timed race, and the goal is to get 3 stars on every track, and then you can go back and like beat your ghost and that sort of thing.
It reminds me of the way you're talking about like kind of balancing it and stuff. Kind of reminds me like Excite Bike on the old NES.
Very similar to that, yeah.
And you know, speaking of the side scroller thing, this sounds like a game that my son has been into lately called Hill Climb. There's like
I've heard
Hill
of that
Climb
one.
and Hill Climb 2,
Uh-huh.
where it's kind of the same type of deal where it's like you don't want to flip over. Well, in
Right.
this one, like if you flip over, like your try is over.
Yeah.
So like you have to balance the vehicle, and you pick up like coins and fuel and stuff to try to continue, you know, it's a distance record is what you're trying to set with that one.
Oh, okay.
Anyway,
Yeah, this one's a start and an end, and there's like times that you need to beat, and then you can watch your ghost later on, and then there was a multiplayer option, so you could race your friends and stuff and unlock different bikes that gave you. Sometimes they gave you different abilities, sometimes they were just different upgrades. But it was pretty satisfying on the multiplayer and the single player front. Also, no plot, which was fine. Also free. The reason I quit playing it is because it very quickly switched from like, hey, have fun. There's like a couple of banner ads, and yeah, that's the one. And then it switched to like tons of ads, and it was really pay to win. And so like racing against random people was really frustrating. Just because it was like, oh, I've got the ghost bikes
because they're like super powerful.
Yeah, and then
Yeah.
you know,
You
some of
know-
my friends quit playing it, so I kind of quit playing it, and then it's not even on my phone anymore.
You know, big, game developers, I know this is the easy route to go, is to do the pay to win thing
Don't do it.
with lots of ads and premium stuff. Don't do it, man.
It just makes you look bad.
Yeah, I know it's a cash grab because there are whales out there. I think that's the technical term for the people that drop like thousands of dollars on these games that they really like.
Yeah,
And they're the ones that are propping up, that are pumping whatever game. They're the ones primarily paying for it. It's not the people like us, that pay, $2, $3, $20 every once in a while. Like these people are just pumping money into it.
yeah.
Just give us a great game. Either make it free and like sensible ads and premium things, or just charge us $5-10 for it.
Yeah, there's games
And
that
make
I've
it
quit
great.
playing because of the number of ads. I'm fine with I'm fine with ads. I'm not against it. I
Right,
understand
I'm
that
not
if you're
either.
offering a free game, it's not really free.
I get it. I
You know.
understand why they do it.
It takes time and money, and I do appreciate it. I do.
Exactly.
You're doing something that I don't know how to do. Thank you for that. But think about your user experience too.
Right. Yet there's a balance there. It's like we get it. I mean, people get it that the game's free, so you guys got to get your money somewhere, right?
Yeah.
But it's like there's a balance between just outrageous, like unplayable, terrible experience with so many ads, or a nice experience with ads every once in a while.
You know what game did not make my list that will surprise some people who know me? And I have actually deleted the app because of how much I hate the user experience now because of the ads, and just because of some of the stuff they've done with it too. Words with Friends 2.
I was thinking you were gonna say that because I'm like, what
It's
game has
so
Josh played a
terrible.
lot of?
It's so terrible. Like, I love Scrabble. I used to play Word Feud. I'm
Mm-hmm.
locked out of my account permanently from that game. I don't know what happened. And so I switched to like Words with Friends and Words with Friends 2, and I fired it up because it'd been a while, and I played with, some people that I had still pending on there, I guess. And I just like, all right, I'm gonna finish my games with these people, and then I'm done with the app. And I told them, don't start another game with me. I won't engage. Like, I'm done. I don't want to play this anymore. I hate the ads. It's so bad that I just found the whole app to be unusable.
So I was about to say There's ads in that? Because I used to play it a lot. I believe it's uninstalled from my phone as well. But the reason why ads are surprising to me with Words with Friends is way back in the day, I paid for the, the primo version, like whatever,
really?
a couple bucks for it.
Yeah.
So all I have to do whenever I download it, because it's a free app. I think there used to be two separate ones.
Yeah.
And then there was this time where they totally redesigned the app and re-released it.
I actually don't like the redesign either.
Yeah,
I
it's
just don't
like
the user experience.
they
Personal preference.
yeah, they made it free. They unified it. They made it free, and they made it all pretty. I remember when it came out. It was, I don't know, 5 or 6 years ago now.
Longer ago than that, man.
Yeah. Well, the redesign.
Oh, the redesign, yeah.
But yeah, so somehow back in the day I paid for the primo one, so I don't have any ads in mine.
Nice. That must be amazing.
Yeah, it's pretty great. I think I've when I would get a new device and re-download it, but I forgot to unlock the premium one, and there would be ads. I'd be like, oh god, what is that?
Yeah, exactly. It's terrible. Anyway, so yeah, that's why I quit playing Bike Race. The ads got unbearable. The pay to play got unbearable. It just, and then I forget there was a third thing that they changed, and I was just like, this really sucks. Oh, I had unlocked a bunch of bikes, and then they changed what you need to do to unlock them, but I didn't get to keep my bikes. They were just like,
what?
I didn't pay for them.
What?
But
so
I worked really hard.
They reset your
I play a
progression because they changed the way that it works.
Yeah. And so then I was
That's
just like,
lame.
you know what?
That's lame.
Even if somebody is like hits me up out of the blue, is like, hey, let's play Bike Race again. I'm gonna be like, no, I'm not about that life anymore.
It's like, I get it, because they probably they're like, well, I'm sure everybody who's played this has probably already unlocked everything, but we want other people to be able to do it, so we're just gonna reset everybody. I don't know. That just seems.
It was dumb.
Maybe they could have reset it, but then given people who had unlocked, whatever a certain amount, given them a special bike.
Yeah, I'm sure
this is for the OGs. This is a great.
That would have been great. I'm sure I could have hit them up and been like, hey, my stuff got reset. Can you help me? And they might have. It was kind of like the final straw though, and I was just like, you know what? I really loved this game, and then you ruined it.
Josh, maybe we're going to touch the hearts of some of these developers.
That's it.
And not in an Indiana Jones kind of way.
Balima! Balima!
They're going to shed a tear, and they're going to realize the error of their ways, and we're going to see Pyrotron and a new, improved Bike Race.
Happy, I'd give him another shot. I'd give Bike Race another shot.
So
and Pyrotron, I'd take in a heartbeat.
So Bike Race, there's no way to pay to get rid of the ads.
I'm not sure. There probably is now. I'm sure that there is. I'm sure that there was too. It was fun, and I liked it a lot, and I was willing to play it. But the ads were low key enough that it was like, you know what? It's fine. They'll probably make more on these ads long term for me than I would if I paid because of how much I was playing.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, it was a really fun little casual turn-based side scroller app, so I could do my race, and then you get a notification, and when you were ready, then you could do your race, and then it would let me know, and we determined who won. It was fun. It was real casual, real fun. Kind of not too realistic. The tracks were not like paved roads or anything. It was like a line that was drawn on the screen. So.
Hey, simple is great.
Yeah, simple but effective.
That's right.
What's next on your list?
So, next on my list is called it's the Football Manager mobile games by Sega.
Sega.
So they release one of these every year. The big one that I don't know if it's a bigger community, more passionate people, whatever. So they have it on PC. It's also on Xbox, probably PlayStation as well. But they have Football Manager, the full Football Manager on PC, and when I say football, I don't mean American football. I mean football like the rest of the world, soccer.
Football.
So the one on PC and on console is a very in-depth simulator where you are a manager of a football club, and you are in charge of everything like signing players, cutting players, scouting players, negotiating contracts, game strategy, that kind of thing. So I've found that I really like the idea of these simulator and management games, but when I get the full-fledged like Uber version on like a PC or Xbox, I'm overwhelmed by it of all the different things that I have to manage.
Yeah.
So I find like because Motorsport Manager, going back to my first one, they also have a more in-depth full version on PC, just called Motorsport Manager.
Okay.
Which I have, and I have put a decent amount of time into it. But the mobile version, while it's like for Motorsport Manager and Football Manager, like the mobile version is in depth enough to keep me coming back to it, but it's not so in depth that it overwhelms me and I get like frustrated and just like, I don't want to put that kind of time into it.
Yeah.
Anyway, so I've really enjoyed it. I've poured a lot of time into the Football Manager. I think I've bought 3 of them. They're like when they release them, they're like $7-8, and they have them on Android and iPhone.
Huh.
But yeah, so it's like, and they have all different, like they have leagues like from all different, like pretty much all over the world. Like every year they usually add more leagues. So like if you want to be some like bottom tier team in a semi-professional league in Brazil, like you can do that.
Cool.
And like what's really cool about it is the progression. Like, so you can pick a team and you start out really low. What's really cool about football, just about soccer. I'm just going to say soccer so we don't get confused. Like soccer leagues around the world, except for I think United States, but like European football, European soccer is where they have this like promotion and relegation system.
Yeah.
So like if you're one of the top teams in your league, you can get promoted to the league above you, and so you could you can literally rise from the very bottom to the very tip top of your country's professional league.
I like that.
The glory, like it's there for the taking.
Yeah.
And there's also and what's also cool about it is like there's these, there's the league, the professional league or semi-professional league that you're in, the competition with that. There's like continental competitions, like the continent.
Mm-hmm.
You play other countries, and then there's also some like world competitions that you can play in.
Yeah.
So it's just that like there's stuff going on all year long in that, in the season in the game. Yeah, it's just you're seeing there's more sports games. There's a couple sports games on mine. So I'm a sports fan. Yeah, I mean there's not a whole lot.
That's pretty cool
else to say about that, but that's pretty fun. It's there's not any like cool like graphics or anything. It's just kind of like when you can watch the game, like you do all this management stuff, and then when it actually comes to game time, you watch the game like simulate, like you watch the game unfold on the screen, and they're just dots.
Yeah,
like the players are just dots. You
that's
see the
great.
ball like go back and forth, and it's
that's great.
So it's not like intense on the graphics, but it's like if you get into like simulation stuff like that, and kind of like that gratification of improving your team and getting promoted, or if you don't improve it, you can get relegated. But then you're like, well, we just got to try harder next year.
Yeah.
So if you like that,
and win one for the Gipper.
That's right, for the Gipper. So yeah. If you're into that kind of thing and you don't mind spending $7-8, check it out.
Nice.
So that's my third.
Nice.
What is up next for you, Josh?
So I'm going to do another throwback one. So this is a game I can still sometimes get it to work for a little bit on my phone. This is a game that my brother Eli introduced me to on the iPod Touch.
Whoa. That is old school.
I played this for the first time 12 years ago. Maybe further. I don't know.
Wow.
Long time ago, and it's called BowQuest Pandamania. Now, this is a game where it's you're a giant panda who's an archer, and you're in like a little tower, and you shoot at snakes and different things that are coming at you. And it's it's very cartoony, and you can using your touchscreen, you pull back the arrow to determine how much force you shoot with, and then you aim up or down to determine your trajectory.
Okay.
Periodically, you can upgrade your arrows to flame attack and different things. You can also do, if you get like good marksmanship throughout the level, you can build your Pandamania meter, and when you use it, it like rains arrows and just like scorched earth kind of thing, where it just the whole screen is covered with arrows for a second. It takes out like
It's all snakes. Snakes are the enemy.
It's like snakes and I don't know what
other jungle creatures.
So the crazy thing about this game is that there is a story to it. There's a plot to this game. So I mentioned you're a panda.
Mm-hmm.
You are a panda who wakes up one day and discovers that your Fu Manchu mustache has been stolen. And so you go on a
Oh man.
So you go on a quest to get it back, because you realize that, I forget what the main bad guy's name was. You realize that he stole it, and so you're gonna go get it back because he's stolen some of your mojo with that mustache. And so you go to, each level you get closer and closer, and it's got like a little map and like little bits, very, very small bits of like dialogue where he's like, "Oh, it's not here. I must go and move on to this fortress and see. But first,
Nice.
It's fun, super casual, stupid in all the best ways. The storyline is just hilarious to me, And you can skip the story bits if you're like, no, just bring me the next level. Then
skip.
You hit skip. It's not like it's integral, or you get some sort of like insight into how to defeat enemies in the story or anything. There's none of that. You choose to upgrade how to upgrade your arrows and stuff. Yeah. Did you find it?
Well, I found like pictures. Like, if you Google it, it's all like,
yeah, it's there.
Basically trying to like download the old install files for Android. Looks like.
And
you said you can get it to work sometimes.
Yeah. So I think I forgot to look. I might still have it on my phone. I can go through my Play Store history and find it and download it, and I did that on my last phone.
So it still lets you download it?
It will still let me download it even. They haven't blocked it. And then I emailed the developers. I was like, hey, it crashes a bunch. And they were like, huh? You still playing that game?
Why are you still playing that?
Basically, yeah. They were confused. They were like, what are you doing playing? Oh, okay. We'll try and smooth it out for the present era of Android, I guess.
Do they make other games or?
I've never looked. I've liked that one so much that I never really messed with it. But yeah,
BowQuest Pandamania. Fizz Pow.
Yeah, Fizz Pow.
Okay. Fizz Pow. Come on, yeah. I'm telling you, man, we get it. They're gonna bring it back.
Big shout out to Eli for introducing that game to me. So I just looked for it in the Play Store. It is not an option to just search for it. I have to go into
because you've downloaded it before.
Yeah, so just as a general search, it's not there. I'd have to go into like my history of downloaded apps and re-download it.
Okay, I'm on FizzPow's website. Oh, okay. So I've played a game that they've made. I haven't played that one, the Pandamania one, BowQuest. They make Bitcoin Billionaire, which is an idle clicker. But,
kind of like Bitcoin.
Yeah. Is that the only game that they make now? That's it. That's the only one that's on their page.
It was a really quality game, though. Like, it ran... Some early iOS and Android games were really janky. And they just were kind of like these slapshod, nobody's going to really play this. And then instead they were like, no, we're taking this to the next level.
Look, okay, so they have a media gallery. They have Bitcoin Billionaire, but they also have a BowQuest. like video, and they have Mummy's Treasure. That's a trailer. They have the trailer for BoQuest and Mummy's Treasure.
Nice. Yeah,
But-
check it out. Google it. Check it out. Send them an email.
Yeah, do it.
And just be like, hey, we heard about you guys on the Open Eclectic. And they're going to be like, who?
You're gonna be like, yeah, who are those guys? So so I'm on their webpage, fizzpow.com. They have a link to Reddit, but that's just for Bitcoin Billionaire. So that's not the company. They have an Instagram page, FizzPow Games.
Nice.
They have Facebook. Well, that's just Bitcoin Billionaire. Never mind. So Twitter and Instagram would be the ways to interact with them. FizzPow on Twitter. Instagram is FizzPow Games. You can also get on their mailing list if you want. Yep, Josh, that's our quest. We're gonna get these developers to make these pirates. So now we got Pyrotron. We got.
I'm willing to let bike race go. Honestly, I'd
Okay.
rather focus our energy on
These other ones.
BoQuest and
Okay.
Pyrotron.
Well, because Bike Race is still available. Looks like.
It is.
It's
I just don't like it.
Yeah. So Pyrotron and BoQuest Pandemania. Come on,
We could do this.
we can do it. Together we can do
it.
anything. The power of positive thinking. Yeah. Anything else about BoQuest or?
No, there was no multiplayer, nothing like that. You just played on your phone, and that was that.
It was free? Was it a free game back then?
I installed it so long ago, I can't remember.
Yeah. I mean, like you're saying, back in the day, like early, like iOS and Android, like it was just like the Wild West. And I feel like most games were free, but like you said, most of them were also janky. But so when you found one that was quality, it was a nice, refreshing thing. So, shall I?
Yeah, what's next, man?
Go to number 4. So number 4 for me is called Pocket Planes. It is by Nimblebit, the same developer who makes Lego Tower. Now, Pocket Planes still has a vibrant community on Reddit. People that play. Pocket Planes has not been updated really since like 2012, I think. They did release an update in the last couple months to be compatible with. There was some like security certificate thing on, at least on iOS. So they actually pushed an update, which is surprising because it's been eons since they've updated it. Yeah, it says, darn it. I tried to load it and it loaded too fast.
On the upside, that's like a good sign, when you go to open up a game and it just flies open like lightning.
I keep trying to see the splash screen and it won't. Anyway, it's been a long time. And I really strongly wish that they would update it. But it feels like they've just like neglected it. Like I want to say that if you've never played it before, you can't play it. It's one, like you said, it's like the BoQuest. It's like if you've downloaded it in the past, you can go into your purchase history and you can re-download it when you get a new device or whatever. But if you have never played it and you go to the store and search it, you probably won't find it.
Some games you actually can't do that with.
Yeah, they actually totally disable
They
it.
totally rip it out. So as much as I like Lego Tower, which I like a lot, it runs smooth, it's a lot of fun for me, etc. The game that blew that blows Lego Tower out of the water for me was Star Wars Tiny Death Star. So it's the same concept, but there was a plot to this game, which was that the Empire was running out of money, and so they decided to rent out floors in the Death Star so that they could complete it. And so, like, the big thing that you tried to unlock in that game was, like, scenes from the movie. Except that everything was done in, like, the 8-bit style. So it was this kind of chibi 8-bit recreation of the scenes that was just fantastic. Like, Google that, and the reason that
it's
game
on YouTube, yeah.
got pulled so hard is because it got started, and then, like, a year later is when the sale of Lucasfilm to Disney happened, and they made a bunch of changes, and that was one of the cuts that they made. So it's like no fault of Nimblebit as far as I'm aware. It was just like Nimblebit had the rug yanked out from under them, and as a result, we all had the rug yanked out from under us.
It's
And
too
it was
bad. It's like,
so cool.
yeah, it's like you said, it's like beyond their control, and it's like that's like a really interesting, just idea for a game, and it's like it's really unique.
It was. It was
It's
weird
like,
and fun and 8-bit, and you couldn't help but be like, this is
Yeah.
hilarious.
Yeah, I mean they've got Tiny Tower, they've got Lego Tower, they've got one called Disco Zoo, which I played a couple times, which can't really get into that, but other people like it. They've got quite a few games. There's one that's the original one, is it called like Sky Burger or something? So they've made a few games, in their time. But it just, so Star Wars, the Tiny Death Star one gets yanked, no fault of theirs. They also have a Tiny Tower Vegas, which I tried to get into, but I can't really get into that one either. Anyway, Pocket Planes. So this is another management kind of type game. So instead of managing a tower or managing a vault or managing a football team or managing a racing team, you are managing your own airline. But it's still in the same 8-bit, Nimblebit, Bitizen style. So the people, like the people that fly on your airplanes or the people that fly the plane, they look like the people in the towers in Tiny Tower. So you purchase airplanes, you open air, you unlock access to different cities, airports. So you have routes where you can fly. So you pick up either passengers or cargo. You have planes that can carry both P or C, passenger cargo, or they're dedicated to one or the other. So you have just passenger, just cargo. So you get experience points. You level up at various levels. You unlock the ability to have more cities open, I guess, and to have cooler airplanes. You go from propeller planes to jets, and they also have some cool just nods to silly stuff. They have a X-wing you can get.
Nice.
They have a hot air balloon. They have Santa's sleigh, I think, is one of the ones you can get.
I like this.
Man, what else? I have played a lot of the game, but I actually haven't unlocked a lot of stuff. So, but like I said, so this is one that they've neglected. In favor of they're still hardcore supporting Tiny Tower. They come out with updates for Tiny Tower quite often. Lego Tower is the big one. Lego Tower, I think, is their main pony in the race.
Do you think Lego Tower has overtaken Tiny Tower?
Yes.
Huh.
I would say.
Crazy.
I think so. I don't know. I mean, I could be, talking out of my butt. I don't know the player base, I guess, necessarily, but I feel like Lego Tower is the one they're pushing the most.
Yeah. Okay.
I'm actually kind of surprised that they still are updating Tiny Tower.
I think there's enough people who've kind of invested enough money, so to speak, in the company, and who've, paid enough for the upgrades in the Tiny Tower that it's, if you're still getting money, profit from it, why wouldn't you keep it going?
Sure.
It's one thing if you turn around and you're like, well, nobody plays this game anymore. There's 2 people, and neither of you guys have paid subscriptions or have paid for the app, so yeah, we're going to shut it down.
Yeah. I think they're actually working. They have some new features that they've been working on with Tiny Tower. They're so I went into the settings in it a couple weeks ago, and there's an experimental settings feature that you can turn on, and so it's added a couple interesting additions.
What I would love, I wanted this in Tiny Death Star, and I would love it in Lego Tower, is if I could pay bucks even, I presume, to move minifigures from one floor to another. Like, if I could be like, hey, I want to move this guy from the skylight apartment to, the throne room apartment, like I want to do that.
But so wouldn't I feel like they don't allow you to do that because then you could kind of exploit the the gold brick thing. So like if you build a golden residential floor, you stick somebody that is earning 320 coins in there, and then they become a 900 coin person, right?
Yeah.
But so if you move them out and you move somebody else in, then it's like you could just kind of like farm. You could farm your own like max people.
Sure, you could.
Or maybe they could build in a mechanism where you couldn't do that. I guess.
That's kind of what I do now, though. Is like I only build so many floors that are residential ones, and I just keep like sending characters to people, minifigs to people, until I get people who share dream jobs.
Well, and that's how you do it now. Like some people are create like even more into it than Wanda.
Yeah.
Like there's people that are literally like crazy about it because they're like crazy is not the right word. They're very
really
into it, very passionate about it. Where they'll be playing like on their phone or maybe their tablet or whatever, but then they have like a second tower.
Yes.
Like, either like a different device or they're emulating it on their computer, like an Android emulator on their computer, and so they'll actually have towers where like a golden tower basically where people will send them and I think they have to coordinate on like some community like Reddit or something. Yeah. They'll send them figures and they'll put them into a golden floor and then they'll send them back.
Yep.
So like they'll upgrade them and then they'll send them back.
Well, they don't stay. Do they stay at 900 if they're in a golden floor and you move them? I didn't think. And you send them to somebody. They stay at 900.
Yeah. Once they get upgraded, they stay.
Yeah, really. So I didn't know that.
Yeah.
I thought they were just.
I'm pretty sure.
Interesting.
I guess I've never never examined it. I know that you can't send if you actually like convert a figure into a character.
Yeah, the character pieces stay with you.
Yeah, you can't. Right. So like you can't send those.
So I've seen people like you said who set up a separate on another device. They'll set up another tower and they just store their minifigures, and then do just enough on that tower, or they'll pay for the thing to be able to send them back and forth for free, and then they just send themselves. Because minifigs
when you rebuild, you lose your figures.
It's true. Yeah, the minifigures.
Like you don't lose the characters. I mean, you always once you've achieved a character or gotten the pieces, like they're unlocked.
Yeah. All pieces that you accrue, you keep unless you give them to somebody specifically.
Right. But the figures themselves, like when you hit 50 and you decide to rebuild, like if you don't send those off to other people, they're just gone. Right. So,
we'll have to try that. Yeah. When I go to rebuild, I'll start sending my characters before I rebuild a bunch of people, and we'll see if they are all 900s or not.
Well, because that's what I kind of tried to do. Well, it's been a while since I rebuilt, but like I would kind of look for like not everybody because I have added way too many people, but I'd kind of glance at like Wanda's tower, or maybe my son's or yours, and be like, they've got these floors. Do I have any of those people? And I'll send them those people before I rebuild. Yeah.
If a minifig has, I think if they're over 400 or so, and I don't need them, then I just send them to somebody. Like if I want the space because I need somebody who's matches up with a different job, dream job or whatever, then I'm just like, yeah, we'll send them to, and I rotate between my kids and and yours and nice. Wanda.
Very nice. Yeah. I need to be, said this before, I need to get on it more often to pay back the generosity of Wanda and you and others, because some people, like I've seen some posts on Reddit where people get like legit like irritated.
They get upset.
Yeah, when they're like, I added this person and they don't. Me. They said they would visit every day and they don't.
Yeah, I'm not that
I'm
into
just
it.
like,
Sometimes
okay.
I would say most of the time, honestly, Wanda visits me first, and then I visit her back, and sometimes I feel bad about that, but then I don't anymore. I take it pretty casually. It's a fun game. Don't let any of these games like suck you
No.
in so bad
No.
that you can't do anything else,
Sure.
or that you get upset when people don't visit you. If you're taking it that far, spend a week doing something else.
Go outside.
Go outside, breathe that fresh air. It's okay.
Yep.
This
Look at
game
the blue
really-
sky. Don't look directly at the sun.
If this game isn't bringing you joy and it's become a job, then you got to
Something
quit
else.
that job and work a different job.
Wait, so you feel bad because she visits you first?
Sometimes I do, because I'm always like, because I think about it too. I'm like, I should visit one. I'm going to try and visit Wanda first, and then I don't.
But I mean, it's like,
It's just,
but you're still. I mean, if you visit her back, you've fulfilled the daily, limit
Sure.
thing.
Yeah, you do, because you can only visit people
Yeah.
once a day. And then I send her pieces periodically, but yeah, she definitely is a better Lego Tower friend to me than I am to her, which is fine.
I think my biggest issue is I'm not consistent.
Yeah.
Because when I'm on, I try most of the time to like reciprocate, or I feel bad. I'm like, I should probably send. Okay, I got this piece. I'm gonna send it to these couple people. But then then I don't play it for 2 weeks,
Yeah.
and then it's just like, well.
Whoops.
Um.
Yeah.
Anyway, going back to Pocket Planes, it's a really fun game. Nimblebit, please, if you're listening to our podcast, please update the game so that new players can download it and play it,
For real.
and that you can like tweak it and kind of massage it so that it looks better on modern operating systems. Anyway, it's a great game. Really enjoy it. It's fun. It's in the Nimblebit style. It's kind of like, it's just kind of casual, but it's good time. So
Yeah.
that's my number 4. Josh, what is your number 4?
I think this is my number 5, technically. Well, kind of. I don't know.
Wait,
I talked
who
about
went first? I think I went first.
You did. Well, I talked about. I kind of squeaked Tiny Death Star in there,
Oh, that's true. You did.
which is.
You can talk more about it if you want.
Yeah. Well, I'm tempted to. No, I said what I wanted to say. I said what I wanted to say.
All right.
But no. So my other game is a current one. It's one that I actually play now.
Mm-hmm.
I haven't for a little bit. I've spent a lot of time with.
You recommended this game to me. I played it actually quite a bit for like a couple weeks, and then me, of course, Mr. Inconsistent. I haven't played it in a while.
Well, the multiplayer thing is new on it, so we should try that and see how that goes, because I haven't been able to yet.
We should.
The game is called Archero, which is a game where you steer your character around, and then when you let go, they start shooting arrows at the bad guys, and it gets progressively harder. And they kind of you basically you do have to replay levels over and over again in order to get like experience, and you pick up random items, and then the items that you do get, you can merge to make like more powerful versions of that. And you can just like keep doing that until you get to the point. So it takes 3 like standard bows to the next level bow, and then it's 3 of those to get to the next one after that. And there are ads in it, but most of them are ones that you can choose to watch or not. And then if you choose to watch them, you get like a free item or free, in-game currency or whatever.
Again, sensible, not in your face. Like there's no forced ads, right?
I think there are. It's really rare though. They're not very frequent.
I think that they offer they give you the option to watch an ad a lot. Like they kind of push that where they're like, oh, you get this reward, but would you like to double it by watching an ad? I mean, I think
gems.
most games do that.
Yeah. But there's like a lot of customization in this game. So I mean, like there are ads, like you said, they're sensible, but you can choose to use like a bow and arrow, or you can find like a little boomerang glaive thing, where there's like wands and stuff, and there's different things that you equip to yourself to give you bonuses, and
like rings and like a cape or
amulets. And you can grind it and upgrade your character that way. There are characters that you can opt to pay for. So it's kind of
heroes, I think is what they
heroes,
call them,
But it's a lot of fun. It's easy to pick up, and there sometimes honestly, sometimes I play this game and I choose like silly upgrades. So there's like more upgrades now, so it's kind of harder to do it. But there's when you're on a level, sometimes there's mid-level upgrades that they'll give you. And there was one where you had these little like fireballs that were circulating you. Oh yeah. So there's those, and then there's like ice ones that slow your enemies down, and then there's lightning ones, and there's like 5 or 6. And so I was going through one, and I was doing really well, and I knew that there's like I was going to get through the end no matter what upgrades I got. So I only chose those ones that were circulating, that like spin or like circulate around you, oscillate around you, until the point that I had like 4 or 5 of them going, and I was just like, this is funny. And so I just walked around and used it like it became like a giant bandsaw and cut through all my enemies.
Yeah, it's great because like as long as they're getting hit by the circle, it's damaging them. So like you didn't upgrade like your actual like arrows or anything like that.
No, I only upgraded that. Nice. Just because I wanted to know if I could. And it is random. It's like a little bit of a lottery. So sometimes you really get something that is super beneficial based on everything else that you've gotten, and it stacks really well, and sometimes you get garbage. So there's like one thing where you can upgrade your arrows, or whatever projectile weapon you're using, and you can basically have it shoot 2, and there's an upgrade where it's 2 at a time or 2 in quick succession, and there's one where you'll shoot 3, so at about 45-degree angles left and right, and then 1 center. And then there's like another upgrade that you can get, and if you can stack them together, it's bouncy walls, where the arrows will bounce off of the walls like 3 times.
I remember that one.
And then you increase the rate at which you're shooting at, and so like it really, some of the upgrades really stack really nicely. Unfortunately, you can't plan on those super well, which is a little bit of a bummer, but kind of gives the game more life, I think.
Yeah, it's like I think you recommended it to me, so like I had never heard of it before that.
Yeah. Shout out to our old friend Cassie, who recommended it to me.
Oh, sweet. Thanks, Cassie. Hopefully loyal listener, Cassie.
Exactly.
So I wasn't sure what to expect, and so like you kind of see it, and on the surface you're just like, well, there's tons of games like this on mobile games.
I'm sure there are.
But I'm like, so I like to just kind of go through the app store and kind of look for new games and be like, oh, this looks interesting. I'll download this and try it. If I don't like it, it's deleted or whatever. So I played a few games that were kind of like that, kind of like this. But this one, pleasantly surprised by it, like the depth of it, and just the kind of like the challenge of going through the levels again, and like kind of like the luck of the draw, like what upgrades are going to be available to you. I like the vampire ones, like the ones
bats and stuff
that leech health from the enemies or whatever.
This is a game where to play the level costs you energy. 5 energy or whatever, and then the energy regenerates over time. Yeah. So it's like not like you could sit and play it all day unless you were really good at the game.
Sure.
But then it's great because there's like the base levels, and then they added extra what they call hero versions, or hero mode. So it's the same level, but all the enemies are way, way more difficult. And then they added recently Hero Duel, where you play against each other, Hero Duo, where you play with somebody, and there's constantly different like daily events and weekly events where you can play to get different, XP or bonuses. And then there's of course like in-game things that you can purchase. You could purchase 14,000 gems for $104.99. I have not done that. Just I want to be clear. I've spent no money on this game. Because you could, like, if you were in a hurry or you really, really liked it that much, you could certainly do it. I like it a lot, but I like just playing it. It's not one that I found that I need to spend money on. Not that need to spend money on, maybe a weird way to put that. But yeah, there's different upgrades and customizations. You can upgrade your weapon, your armor, your hero. I'm currently playing as a wizard kitty.
Oh,
Because I don't even think it's the best option. I find it highly amusing though. So, so
wow! I haven't played this in a while. Probably, I don't know. I think I opened it like a couple weeks ago just to kind of like collect stuff.
yeah,
But then I didn't actually play a level. It's
there's
probably
like daily rewards
been a
for
couple months since I played it.
playing on the regular and stuff. But yeah, there's like rings and amulets and little spirit friends, I guess, that help you.
Little pets or whatever.
Little pet, little,
Yeah.
little pets. Little pets.
So speaking of energy, like you know, an energy game, like one that didn't make my list.
Ooh, okay. Honorable mentions.
I don't even know if I want to say that because it's almost like I don't want to say like love hate, but I feel like it's it's not that bad, not that serious. But one that's kind of a similar, you know, concept with the energy, and then also you mentioned like, oh, you could spend money on it if you really wanted, if you really needed to like finish a level.
Yeah.
You could, but I've like resisted on this one. Candy Crush.
So I've played Candy Crush, and that game is.
I've put a lot of time into it.
Have you? It is a lot of fun. It got. I don't know if it got like too difficult too quick for me, and then it kind of. They were like, I'm having trouble, pay to play, you know, and I was like,
exactly.
Nope. I was like, no, that's really no.
Yeah, so that's
Yeah, that's one. It's fun. I can't do it.
yeah, so it's just it's a puzzle game. I mean, people listening to this, you had to have heard of Candy Crush unless you were, you know, in a coma or under a rock or something.
If you were in a coma and this is the podcast you've chosen to listen to, please contact us. We'd like to have you on the show.
Yes, thank you.
We'd like to know.
Thank you very much.
What you think of Corona.
Yep.
And just a plethora of other things, just to see how the world has changed. Even if you were only in a coma since 2019. Any shorter than that, and kind of you knew what was up already, I'm guessing. But yeah, if you woke up and you were like, let me look at a podcast. What's this Open Eclectic? And we're it. First of all, I'm honored, but seriously, let us know. We want to have you on the show.
Yeah. Now I know we're speaking in jest here, but I think they're actually.
I'm being serious.
Well, serious if we want him to be on the show, but like, you know, we're just kind of kidding about, you know, being in a coma or whatever, which is not a laughing matter. I want to say that there was a story about somebody who was in a coma, who was in a coma for, you know, for a big chunk of 2020, and so they came out of it, and then they're like, Corona, what? Yeah. You know, so it's like exactly what you're talking about. It's just like, holy cow!
I would just
Can
be
you
like,
imagine that?
Imagine before it all broke down. Like you're in 2019, and someone tells you, like, future you shows up or something, and is like, by the way, for the next 2 years, everybody's gonna have to wear a mask and like stay away from each other. You'd be like, what?
Wait, what's going on?
Get out of town.
Yep.
Totally. Anyway, do you hit on your list? Or do you have one more?
I got one more.
Got one more? What is it?
So my last game is Clash Royale by Supercell, which, if you haven't heard of them, you've probably heard of their most popular game, Clash of Clans.
I've heard of Clash.
So I've tried to get in. I tried to get into Clash of Clans, and I played it. They also have another game called Boom Beach, which is a similar game, just different setting. I've tried to get into Clash of Clans and Boom Beach, and it's just not quite my thing. But Clash Royale is more up my alley. It's a card battler kind of game. Where you have cards that you draw, and so then based on the cards that you draw, you're playing against other people. So, you know, it's like you're on one side of this play area and they're on the other side. And so you have these cards that you play, and they cost like elixir, or I think that's what they call it. Also, it's been a while since I played this one. So these cards that you play cost a certain amount of elixir that recharges over time.
Mm-hmm.
So obviously, if you spend a heavy hitter one, it's going to take you longer to get your elixir back. But, you know, so you play the card, and it plays. It uses characters from the Clash of Clans universe.
Oh,
So
interesting.
like you play like your little barbarians, or your little skeleton warriors, or these guys carrying little bombs, or like a dragon that spits fire, or an archer, or like a knight, or a hog rider. So those guys are fun. Guys riding on a pig. And so basically, you lay down these characters while your opponent is laying down the same thing, and then it's basically just who is more powerful, because you each have three, I think it's three towers, like castle towers
Okay.
that have hit points attached to them. And so basically, it's like you each are throwing down these cards and waiting for your elixir to add up so you can put down another one, and there's a lot of strategy in building your deck of cards that you have.
Mm-hmm.
And then once two, is it two? Does the math? I can't even remember. But once they've taken out two of your towers, then the match is over.
Yeah, that makes sense.
I think it's two, because there's a timer. Pretty sure there's a timer.
Oh, okay.
Boy,
Been a while.
it's been a while. I should pick it up again. But so the reason I put it on there, even though it's been a long time since I played it, there was a time, I think it was 2 years ago. It was in the before time. Where I actually paid. So they have like a lot of games are nowadays are going to like this kind of seasons thing.
Yeah.
Where they have like two tiers of rewards. They have a free tier, which everybody can get. Like as you progress through the game, like you hit levels and you unlock these rewards. But on the other side is the premium tier, which if you pay, like I think it's like $5 per season or whatever, then not only do you get the free rewards, you also get these primo rewards. So I paid like twice for Clash Royale's season.
Okay.
So I was into it, playing it quite a bit. Sadly, it's all the details are escaping me now.
Yeah, it's been a while. I had a few games like that I was considering for my list where I was like, I remember liking this game. What was it called? I can't remember what it's called. The game with the thing and it does the stuff and
Yeah,
like
I could put Hearthstone on there. Hearth. I say Hearthstone.
Yeah.
I mean, I spent a lot of time in that game, but I wouldn't put it. It's not one of my top 5. So
Yeah.
Anyway, Clash Royale. It's fun. Check it out. Play a couple matches. It's fun. You can be in a clan if you want. It's one of those where like you can be where you can join a group of real people. And
I would kind of like to play a game like that, but
contribute.
I'm afraid of how much it would suck me in.
If you do Clash Royale or anything like that, don't join a clan, like the actual clan,
Yeah.
where people are like, oh, you need to check in every day because we're gonna do this like competition thing. Like, don't do that.
Nah, I don't want that.
Don't do that. But if you check it out, because
Maybe we will.
it's a fun one to like play a match every once in a while. But it also they build into it the mechanic where you want to keep playing.
Well, yeah.
Because of the seasonal rewards,
Yeah.
and all that stuff. But there is an overall progress that you make by defeating people. Like you earn crowns. Like you earn a certain number of crowns for winning, and that moves you up this this career ladder of like this achievement ladder thing, like with like your rating or your power or whatever. And then if you lose, you lose crowns. So it's just
Sure. Ranked stuff.
anyway. So that's my list.
Nice. I had one that was like an alternate for me that like I really struggled to think about putting on or not. That's the OG Angry Birds.
Oh yeah.
And the one that I played more of was the Star Wars Angry Birds when that came out. I hit that game real hard, but I don't know. I don't know. It didn't quite make my top 5, but it's like the Angry Birds saga really introduced people to like mobile gaming as a serious
Because Angry Birds
gaming thing.
was an OG like iPod Touch
Yeah.
back in the day.
And then when
I remember
Android got
downloading
it, we were
it.
like so excited.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, I've got Angry Birds now.
Yeah, I've played. They have so many games now, and they've got movies and blah blah
Yeah,
blah.
all this stuff. That's kind of why I left it off. I was just like, it's
Kind of saturated, just
it does. It feels overdone.
overdone.
And that's from a guy who likes Star Wars.
Well, see, that's what I was gonna say. I'm like, you mentioned Star Wars, and I'm like, and you did talk about it with you said Tiny Tower or
Tiny Death Star.
Tiny Death Star, but I'm surprised you didn't talk about any of the other Star Wars games. Like, what was the one where you build a base?
Star Wars Commander.
Is that still
I
out?
think.
They still have that?
I can't remember. So that was one where it was like you build your base and then you can like engage and try and raid other bases and they can raid you.
See, that's the same mechanism as Clash of Clans.
Yeah,
basically.
Well, they had touted it as like a Clash of Clans type of thing, and it's really focused on make sure to work together with your squad. And
yeah,
so I had people I knew in my squad, but the only thing you could do was send troops to your squad mates. That was it. That was the extent of the multiplayer. And I was like, wait a minute. I really want to like team up with. I want to like message Nate, be like, hey, let's go on a raid, and like for fun, not like a competition or like a a big event, but like, hey, what if let's do like a team up raid or something? And that wasn't a thing, and so that really killed my interest in it.
Yeah, I'm trying to think like Clash of Clans. Like, there's not like I don't think there's a casual type of co-op where you can like raid other players. It's just basically it's like either you raid just random people, like as you play the game, like you raid random people, and see how you do. There is also like a single player with like levels that you can play, but it gets kind of hard like pretty quick. And I think it's advantageous. Well, it is advantageous to be in a clan because they can send you gifts and stuff, kind of like what you're talking about, sending you troops and things. But the thing I didn't like about Clash of Clans, well, other than I just wasn't very good at it, but just like the level of commitment that was required. If you're in a clan, they would do these clan wars.
Yes.
And they're like, okay, so tomorrow we're gonna have to do this, and like Nate, you need to attack this one because of your the level of your clan, or not your clan, the level of your base or whatever, and your skill. And then I'm gonna attack this person, and they're gonna attack that, and I'm just like, I don't like you said, Josh. Like, I don't want to commit that much, like have it committed for me, or like have this like make it like a job.
Yeah.
Like,
and
I want to pour my own time when I feel like it,
You can meet people on those things and chat and form meaningful relationships. I don't want to discount people who do take that stuff real seriously. For me, if I'm gonna play a game on my phone, and maybe it's because it's on my phone, but it's like it can be a serious game, but it's just like a small scale game. If I play a big scale game, I play it on my TV.
Mm-hmm.
Like I fire up my console, my trusty PlayStation 3.
That's right.
And I say trusty like I've had it for forever, but I'm on like my 5th PlayStation 3 now. And
it's the institution.
But it's still a PlayStation 3, fire up my Metal Gear Solid and that's what I play, or whatever.
Right.
But that's kind of how I do it. And then I do for my more social aspect, I do our Thursday night game nights.
Sure. Yeah. Yeah, it's like you said, it's like mobile gaming, I feel, has always had this like reputation that it's not real gaming because it's on your phone, it's whatever. And and I don't want to discount, like you said, I don't want to, like you're talking about the social aspects, forming meaningful relationships with people on these games, totally it happens. But I kind of feel the same way. I feel the same way as you.
Yeah.
It's like I enjoy playing the games on my phone, and I can pour lots of time into it, like when I feel like it, but it still has that casual kind of aspect to it. If I really want to sit down and start playing, I'll get on my computer or my Xbox.
And you know what it is? I think I wonder if part of it is like the mindset of, we grew up with Game Boy. And those were, although those were fun and kind of epic, they were really kind of bite-sized games.
Yep.
A lot of them were. Whereas, our kids are growing up with smaller portable stuff. My son's playing Roblox right now, and that's like a whole world of mini games and Minecraft and that kind of stuff, where he's playing on the Switch on a smaller screen, and he's happy to do the same kind of thing on the Switch or on like a phone size thing. And so it doesn't make as much of a difference to him because that's what he's grown up with. So maybe that's part of it. It's a little bit of that like Game Boy mindset of bite-sized games for me.
Yeah, could be. Yeah, because it's like, I'm with you there, because I know that there are like really in-depth games, and I mean, some of the, like a few of the ones on my list, like I said, they're very in-depth, but it's like they're not so in-depth that I like get overwhelmed. So it's like I can put them down and pick them up whenever. But I know that there's some really like in-depth games on mobile. I just haven't like.
I think games like Final Fantasy VII have made it.
Yeah,
Some of those are kind of, as far as mobile gaming is concerned, it's kind of more expensive when I saw those come out. But that's some of that stuff. I don't know.
I mean, those are like. I mean, they've got these full console games from a few years ago that are now on mobile. So that's kind of like, that's neat that those games are making the jump.
Yeah. $20 for Final Fantasy VII Remastered on mobile. $20.99. Kind of tempting.
Did you play Final Fantasy back in the day?
Yeah, I did. Didn't beat it, but I played it. Or maybe I did beat it, actually.
I played it as well. Didn't even get close to beating it. They have some of the Grand Theft Auto games, I think.
Really? That'd be interesting.
They had
the top-down ones?
Well, the one that they released, I remember it was a big deal when they released it on iPod Touch, was Chinatown Wars. It was like,
it was like a mini game.
Well,
that could feed into the console game, if I remember right.
Well, this one was its own game, like a standalone thing. And I actually I don't know if it was on mobile first, but I think it was a Nintendo DS game.
Oh, really? Maybe.
I actually bought it, but I never got very far into it.
I kind of remember that, yeah.
But Chinatown Wars, they also, I want to say that at least on Apple, they have, I think they have like, so you can get San Andreas for $7.
Wow.
They have a trilogy pack, which is, you can get Vice City for $5.
3 and San Andreas.
3, Vice City, and San Andreas. Yeah.
Vice City was my favorite. Doing all the jumps in that was just...
Yeah, it was great. So yeah, for $11.99, you can get 3, Vice City, and San Andreas.
Interesting. I don't think I will, but it's good to know.
Ooh, Rockstar has a collection, so you can get Bully, which is kind of a fun game. I played that a little bit on my. I have it on my. I got it like Xbox Gold, like it was like a free game that they gave you. I played it a little bit. Oh, they have Liberty City Stories, Chinatown Wars, Vice City 3, Bully, San Andreas, and Max Payne Mobile.
Interesting.
I didn't even know they made a Max Payne mobile game.
I didn't either.
Well, unless it's just a port of the original. That's probably what it is. They just call it mobile because it's on mobile.
Because it's on mobile, yeah. Well,
So, and then there's this, obviously the resurgence of like this kind of retro gaming.
Yeah.
Where like people are making these new games that look like, they were released like, 30, 35 years ago.
Yeah.
And those are, obviously they're probably easier to port those over to mobile because they're not very graphics intensive.
They're basically 8-bit games that they're putting on your 4K phone.
Like Stardew Valley is one.
Yeah. I've actually been replaying
Terraria, I think. Minecraft, obviously.
Yeah, that's pretty low res. Yeah, I play. So on our Switch, there's like the Nintendo Classic games, and I play Solomon's Key. Like that's my go-to game on the Switch, which is a game from the '80s. Like my dad was here a couple months ago, and he was like, "Are you playing Solomon's Key right now?" And I was like, "You know this game?" He was like, "I played this in the arcade. Spent many a dime on this." And I was like, "A dime?"
Before quarters?
Yeah, I just punked them. Or a nickel, maybe? Anyway.
A penny?
I should see if that's available on mobile.
Solomon's
Solomon's Key.
I tried to play that game, and I was like...
Oh, it's a nightmare. Don't get me
I'm
wrong.
like, this is so, like...
It's so weird.
Old.
It is. It's so hard,
Like, it took me... Yeah, I'm like, okay, like, it wasn't too difficult to, like, pick up what I had to do, but it was difficult to actually do it.
Tough.
Yeah, I was
think
like,
about,
holy
like,
crap.
all the levels are timed, and if, like, after you die, you'd have to, like, pay your money and start again. And
Yeah. What's great about the Switch with, like, those classic gaming, like...
Save it.
Yeah, you can just...
Yeah.
you can just save at any time.
I
You
did
just
that.
be like, pause, save, pause, save.
Yep. It's great.
That's how I beat... same idea, like an emulator. It's like back in college, I had a Super Nintendo emulator on my computer.
Oh,
and
that's
that's
right.
how I beat Super Mario World.
Nice.
Because I could save it at any point.
Yeah.
So, like... Yeah, instead of, like, if you die, you have to go back, whatever. I don't
Stage
remember what it
one.
was, yeah.
Whatever.
God, yeah, I can't imagine, like, being in the arcade and, like, you're like, dang it, I screwed up. Oh, I gotta start over. On the Switch, you're just like, reload.
Yeah, that's great. That's great. Yeah. Well, this turned out to be a much more interesting conversation than I thought it was going to be. So, big props to Wanda for prompting our loyal supporter, Wanda, for prompting this discussion about Lego Tower and mobile gaming.
Maybe. So, like I said, she doesn't play a lot of games, but when she does, she spends a lot of time on it. Another one, this might be the only other one that she's actually pumped a lot of time into. Plants vs. Zombies.
I haven't played that one.
OG.
That is an old
That
school.
was one. It was on Android.
Yeah.
We actually we got it through the Amazon App Store. You remember? Do they still
Yes.
do a free app?
I haven't checked in forever. There were some games that I got through that were really fantastic though.
Yeah. So so Amazon App Store for Android used to do. I don't know if they still do it. It was a free game every day. Was that what it was? Or free app every day?
It was a free app a day. It wasn't always a game.
Yeah, it
So
wasn't always a game. Sometimes it was like
I
a
got
utility
like a
or something.
keyboard through them that I loved, and they
SwiftKey?
quit supporting it. No, it was called some had Bean in the title, I think.
Oh.
Anyway, it was great because you could rearrange the keys almost in a ton of different configurations. If you have a wider phone, you could put a split in your keyboard,
Yeah.
so you don't have to stretch your thumbs.
you
Anyway,
go.
so many options. I loved it, and then they just quit supporting it.
Yeah, so we got Plants vs. Zombies free through the Amazon App Store.
Nice.
So and so she she beat it multiple times. So we could do that. We could talk about, and that's like tower defense, that type of
Okay,
game.
yeah. I couldn't remember the name of the tower defense game I used to play, so I like
we
those,
could
though.
totally go into this because my son, I showed him Plants vs. Zombies. He loves Plants vs. Zombies.
Nice.
Then we started playing Bloons. I don't know if you heard of Bloons. Bloons Tower Defense. So it's monkeys. The towers that you place are monkeys, and the enemies that come are balloons, and they throw darts to pop the balloons.
That's pretty fun.
Yeah, Bloons is great. So there's a free. Gosh, we're just getting off on whatever, but so there's Bloons Monkey City is a free game. They also have a multiplayer called Bloons TD Battles. But otherwise the main games you have to pay $3 to $5 for them. They're on number 6 right now.
Okay.
So 6 was I think it was maybe $7, and then you can buy 5 for $3 or something. And so those are single player. Well, you can do multiplayer. You can play a local, on the local network. You can
Okay,
play.
yeah.
Well, no, you can actually. There is actually internet multiplayer too. But yeah, those games are fun. If you like tower defense, great. Yeah, we got a lot of content out of this stuff.
Well, maybe we'll have to do. This is a good episode. I think maybe we'll have to do a follow up and explore some more mobile games because I have a whole set of B listers that I could have whipped.
I think so. Yeah, I agree because I don't want to disrespect mobile gaming at all. Because definitely there's lots of fun to be had, but I feel like there's a few more hurdles with it, just between paid apps and free and like pay to win and sensible advertisements and that kind of thing.
On the other hand, even if you do buy a mobile game, it's cheaper. Typically, you know, he's thinking about like when Final Fantasy VII first came out, and that was like a $50 game.
Now it's how much?
And now it's like 20 on mobile.
You just had to wait like 20 years to get it.
A billion years. You know, but like a console game, that's $60 that you're plunking down plus DLC nonsense. Yep. So if you find a game and you play it a lot, you know, Lego Tower, you spent $20 on it, but you know, arguably if I had spent $20 on it right away, somehow it was gifted the Star Club thing. I don't know. Anyway, I think we mentioned that.
We did.
But if I had spent like the $20 to get that right away, you know, that was 2 years ago. I'm still playing it.
Right. Yeah.
So,
I mean, it's like, it's money, but I mean, if it brings you joy, or you know, if you're entertained,
if you use it a lot,
buy it. Not? You know, it's worth it. Then
I always like it when apps have like a trial version of like productivity apps or you know whatever. The app I'm using to record on my iPad actually has a free version that I tried out to test the functionality. It was really limited on length, but then I liked it enough that I was like, you know what, I'm gonna do it, and I bought it.
Right.
And it's been worth it.
Yeah, I like that too. So the app. So you're talking about Ferrite.
Yes, Ferrite.
Shout out.
We'd like to be sponsored by
Ferrite. Yeah, I like it when apps do that too. Like they get the free trial, because it's like it gives you a chance to try it out, and then you're like you said, it's like if you like it and you're like, man, I could really see myself using this, then you buy it. Or if it's a game, you're like,
pay for no ads.
Yeah. I've done that more than once. I've done that, a handful of times. And yeah, it's like if I'm gonna keep playing the game, it's like, so that's one aspect. Like if you're gonna keep playing it, you're gonna enjoy it. You know, you're willing to pay. But it's also like, you're like, hey, I want to support this developer.
That's the other side
throw them some bucks. Because I appreciate the product that they have. So,
speaking of throwing some bucks, if anybody's interested, I understand we have a Ko-Fi.
We do.
If you'd like to buy us a coffee, so to speak.
Yep. Donations, whatever to, I don't know, new equipment. We haven't really thought too far about what we would use it for.
Coffee, possibly.
Coffee, caffeine. We love caffeine.
We're doing pretty well with our gear, but there's always when you start doing a thing that has a ton of options for gear, it doesn't matter what it is, you kind of instantly start looking a little bit.
Sure.
When maybe you shouldn't, or maybe when you should. I don't know.
I mean, there's maintenance things, or if we're blessed with some donations, we could get some better equipment. It's Ko-Fi. So it's ko-fi.com/the Open Eclectic.
Reach out to us on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter. I'm missing one.
I think that's it.
How embarrassing.
Nope. Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. We're the Open Eclectic on all of them. All one word. The Open Eclectic. Thanks for listening, and look forward to talking to you, at you, with you,
around you,
I
guess,
depending how your speakers are set up.
Yeah. If anybody's using surround sound, I'd like to know, are we around you right now?
Warm embrace.
In that case, we got to go back to the NPR type. The warm embrace of the Open Eclectic.
The warm embrace of the Open Eclectic. Thank you for listening. We're supported by monetary donations from listeners like you. Yeah, anyway, sorry.
Good night, everybody.
All right, later.
Thank you so much for listening. You can find The Open Eclectic on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, and MySpace. Want us to ramble on about something specific or have a comment on what you just heard? Send us an email at theopeneclectic@gmail.com. We now have a Ko-Fi if you feel like supporting the show. That's ko-fi.com/theopeneclectic. or support the show by leaving us a review. Thanks. We hope you'll join us again next time on The Open Eclectic.